Hello, good morning to all of you. How are you, my dear friends, my young persons, my budding psychologists? You are having a course of psychology, and topic of today is role of attention in perception. If you remember, recall, or you might have seen the previous videos in which we talked about the different aspects of the perception. What is perception? What are the laws of perceptual organization? How the things are organized? What is illusion? That is the false perception. Why illusion occurs? What are the different types of geometrical illusions? Then we will talk about the perception of depth, perception of the movement, how we are perceiving. Now, when we talk about the perception, we will have to talk about the attention. So, attention and perception are closely correlated, closely related topics. So, one of the important topic from attention as well as from perception point of view is what is the role of attention in the perception. Now, our sense organs, namely eye, ear, nose, skin and tongue are affected by the different type of stimuli. Man doesn't respond to all stimuli. As per his requirements, he selects the stimuli and reacts towards it. This type of selective process is called attention. What is attention? In a layman language, we say number of stimuli are bombarding our body. Now, that stimuli may be visual, auditory, tactual, olfactory, whatever your five sense organs. Number of stimuli are bombarding, but I am not paying attention to all. The aspect of those stimuli, the range whom I am taking care of is called my attention. Now, I am delivering you this lecture. There is a voice of the AC, I am hearing it, but that is my ears are very easily able to hear the sound of the AC, but I am not paying any attention, I am paying attention to my lecture. So, that means we are selective, we do not pay attention to all the stimuli, to which part of the stimuli whom we pay concentrate is called the attention. Now, what is attention? I defined it as a layman, but how the different psychologists define attention? I am giving you one two definition. Morgan, King, Weiss and Skopler 1986 defined attention as attention is a term given to perceptual processes that select certain inputs and inclusion in our conscious experience or awareness at any given time. This is what I told you. There are number of things in that. Now, which part my conscious is able to experience is my attention. Then Matlin 1803 defined attention is concentration of mental activity. The activity which you are doing, if you are concentrating on that, that is your attention. You are playing a chess, you want making a move, then your attention, your concentration is totally on the move which you are taking to defeat the second party or the co-fellow. Now, that whatever you are thinking, that is your mental activity. Now, you are paying attention, should I move this, should I move that side, should I move forward, should I do this or that. So, attention is nothing, it is concentration of the mental activity. I am reading a book, now my concentration is on the topic, the chapter which I am reading, which I am studying. So, that mental activity I am concentrating, so I am putting my attention on that chapter. Now, role of attention in perception, then what is perception? Like attention, perception is also a mental process, though the concept of perception we have talked about in different lectures also, but since it is related with both, for your revision, for your ready reference, I am repeating the definition here. Like attention, perception is also a mental process. Perception starts from sensation. When we give a meaning to that sensation, it is called perception. Perception has been defined by different people. Some of the definitions are given below. Before sensation, before perception, there will be sensation, and when you will give the meaning to that sensation, that will become the perception. Now, you are giving meaning to sensation. Which sensation? Which you have seen, which you have on which you have paid your attention, on which you have concentrated. So, this is the giving meaning to the sensation becomes the perception. Now, Atkinson and Hilgard 1983, they have written a book, General Psychology. In that book, they have defined perception is the process by which we organize and interpret patterns of stimuli in the environment. You know, when there is a dash, 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 it means if you know some definition, some quotation is very lengthy, and then we give only the salient part, rest is assumed in this dotted part. So, Atkinson and Hilgard 83, they said that perception is the process by which we organize, interpret patterns of stimuli in the environment. Whatever the patterns are coming to you, visual, auditory, olfactory, tactual, whatever they are, gustatory, whatever they are, when you are organizing that, you are paying attention and you are giving some interpretation, that is meaning, that becomes the perception. Similarly, Coleman in 1977 said that perception is the process by which an organism obtains information about the state of its own internal organs and states of the world about it. How you are perceiving, hunger is your internal state, you when you see the food, then there is a perception that I must eat. They say whether internal or your external, when you are concentrating on the top on that and then giving a meaning, I want this, this means this is a, there is a water, this is a bottle of water, this is a plate carrying some breakfast. So, when you are giving the meaning of breakfast, water bottle, juice, ice cream, you are making the perception of that stimuli. Centrock 2000, perception is the brain's process of organizing and interpreting sensory information to give its meaning. Now, if you look at the definition of Centrock actually has defined in a physiological term. They say when you see the sense organs are involved, this message goes to the brain, then neurons which are responsible to receive that information, they give the meaning through axon, the message go to the muscles, there is a terminal brush in the muscles and we act according to that. So, they say perception is the brain's process, that means it is a physiological process of organizing and interpreting sensory information to give it meaning. So, they have defined it in terms of the biology, and you have neurobiology, you have studied, you know nervous system very well, or you see in all the definitions of perception attention, what we say? It is a mental activity. When it is a mental activity, that means the cognitive process, the brain, the mental processes are involved. Now, what are the characteristics of attention? Attention is a selective mental process. The main characteristics of attention is that it is a selective mental process. Person does not pay attention to all the stimuli present in the environment. Perception is also a selective mental process. You are moving in the market, so many cars, so many people are coming from the right side, left side, front side, back side. Are we able to pay attention to all? No. We pay attention only to that stimuli which attracts us. When you go to the crossing, my concentration is on the red light, green light. So, I will not look who is on the right side, who is on the left side. So, that means a perception is not a universal, it is a selective process. You have 4 topics of psychology. You have to appear in the paper of statistics, you have to appear in the paper of personality, then clinical psychology, and then for example, cognitive process like learning, perception, attention. Now, on the day when you have examination on statistics, then you will not pay your attention to the other 3 topics or the other 3 papers. My attention will be concentrated only on the statistics which I am going to appear next day. So, my attention is selective. The 4 papers I have to take, I am to appear in the 4 examination, 4 different paper, but my attention is only focused on the paper which will be on the next day or today. So, attention is selective, it is not universal. Now, attention and perception are important aspects. how individuals interpret and interact with their surrounding worlds. After an individual perceives something, they can pay varying amount of attention to that thing. The allocation and duration of one's attention can manipulate the information they receive and the action they choose. Now you see, first there will be attention, sensation, attention, and then there will be the perception. Now this perception will vary, your perception will vary on the amount of duration and intensity. We will talk about in detail. For how much time the stimulus is before me, what is the intensity of that stimulus, what is the characteristics of that stimuli. So attention will be affected by that and perception will be governed according to your attention. Attention occurs when a person is prepared to notice important parts of his environment or receive information. This attention can refer to an item, event or individual. Attention involves several cognitive functions that are required to enable perception, including alertness, selectivity and vigilance. Now what does this para says? This para says that your attention will be governed by the factor in which you are involved. Suppose I go to the hospital to get my body scanned or for the X-ray. Now when I enter in the hospital, so many nameplates are there: Department of Medicine, Department of Pathology, Department of Physiology, Department of Surgery, but my attention will go only to Department of Radiology. Why? Because I am to get my body X-rayed. So what I want, my perception will be governed according to that. That is why it is said, when a person is prepared to notice important parts of his environment or receive information, the attention can refer to an item, event or individual. It may be individual, it may be individual. You have gone to the university to meet Vice Chancellor. So your attention will be only to the authority, not to the registrar, not to the head, not to the lecturer, not to the co-fellow which are standing around the Vice Chancellor. So it may be individual, it may be event or it may be the object. You go to the celebrate some marriage. So you are not interested which cars are standing outside. Your attention is only on the event. What type of the dance is there? What type of the meals is there? How people are interacting? That means now I am paying my attention to the event. So attention may be toward the event, maybe toward the individual, maybe toward any item. Now lack of attention can make a person miss out an important information. If there is no attention, then you are going to miss lot of informations about the event, individual or the item which you are observing. Too much attention can cause them to take information from a particular aspect and assume it is more important and fundamental than it actually is. So if we are bombarded by excessive information, even then we are not able to filter it out easily. So many things are there. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. For example, I give you an example. You want to purchase a cloth of contrast black and white, red and yellow, very clear. It is a red, it is a black. So black will attract my attention, red will attract my attention. Now there are different shades of red and differing minutely. Now in number of information is available on my body regarding the red color. So excess if there, even then there is a problem, and if there is a lack of information, no attention, then you will miss all the things. If you are not paying any attention to my lecture in my class, you will not be able to understand what lecture I delivered today. So neither it should be lack nor it is the excess. Now ideally a person should have focused on sustained attention on the most important aspects one perceive. However, selective, altering and divided attention can be induced by number of factors. Now what are those factors which will affect your attention? I tell you, this attention and perception we are talking about, theoretically okay, it is important. It is important even for the lecture, classroom, but attention and perception has wide role in the industry of advertisement. Why a particular advertisement attracts my attention more than the other one? So, what should be the factors which make my attention more focused, which take my attention easily? So, we now will talk about what are the factors which will affect the attention. Why? If there is attention, there will be perception. If there is a perception, there will be the meaning. So, they are interlinked. So, the factors affecting attention can be divided into two parts. I am dividing into two parts. One is objective determinant and the second is subjective determinant. You know the word objective, subjective. Objective means universal, equal for all, and subjective means which varies from person to person. A thing I may perceive in that way, you may perceive in the other way. But if we are perceiving all in one manner, in one direction, that is called objective. For example, in examination, you have the question of MCQ type. In MCQ, multiple choice questions, you know, there is only one right answer, and only that answer, if you have ticked, you have attempted that right question, you will get 1 mark. Whosoever will check the copy will give you 1 mark. So, that is objective. Nobody can change your mark, nobody can cut your mark if I put correct on the correct alternate. But if the question is essay type, I say, what is your opinion about the new education policy? I am in favor of new education policy. Mr. Y is against the new education policy. You have written in the favor. So, I may give you more marks because you are supporting my view. The second who is opposing the policy, if he checks your copy, he may give you less marks because he may think that you are opposing his views. Whereas, in essay, the marks should be avoided on the basis of logic, the content, how you have comprehended the topic. This is subjectivity. So, that is why I have divided into two parts, objective and subjective. Now, objective. Objective determinants, what are the objective determinants? Objective determinants are those which are related with the qualities of the stimulus. Important objective determinants are presented here. Now, quality of the stimulus. What is stimulus? On whom I am paying attention. Now, stimulus on whom you are paying attention will be same for all. If there is a glass, there is a bottle. Now, if I say I am presenting this bottle to you, whosoever is watching this video, now this stimulus will remain for all the same. Okay? So, that is why we say the factors which are related with the stimulus are objective. So, what are those objectives? Now, we will talk one by one. Nature of the stimulus. By nature of stimulus here means whether it is visual, auditory or related with some other sense organs. It has been observed visual stimulus attracts more attention than the auditory stimulus. This is found by Mann, Fernald and Fernald in 1972. Now, nature of stimulus means what type of the stimulus you are getting. Now, here in this video, you are getting two type of informations. One is auditory, what I am speaking, and the second is the content matter which you might be seeing on your screen. Now, there is a visual as well as auditory. Now, this is the nature, fine. Now, which is important? Now, it has been observed that auditory stimulus gets more attention than the visual. Now, I am not delivering any lecture, I am not explaining any lecture. Just put this all the written matter on the screen, you read it. Will you able to understand? Will you able to understand? But if I am speaking, your attention will be attracted to my speech. I said, oh, the way I uttered oh, you are attentive, so something new is coming. Now, I say, what is this? What is this? Now, when I say, what is this? Now, this auditory stimulus, art of speaking, the way I spoke, what is this, will attract your attention. So, attention, is affected by the nature of the stimulus, and it has been observed that auditory stimulus, attracts maximum attention than the visual and other types of the stimuli are the things which you are perceiving. The second is change in stimulus. If suddenly a change occurs in the present situation, it attracts attention and a perception is made. It has been empirically found by Daimler 1956. If suddenly a change occurs in the present stimulus, it attracts attention and a perception is made. Daimler also observed it in case of animals also, not on the human, even in the case of animals. You see, when you are sitting, suddenly change occurs in the situation. If suddenly change occurs in the situation, your attention will be attracted towards that. And when your attention is attracted towards that, your perception shifts from one place to the other. I give you one or two examples. I will be try to explain the topic and put in your brain. For example, you are attending a class. Your professor is teaching on the board, auditory as well visual. Your full concentration is on the class. Suddenly, two people, your vice chancellor and your head or other, or any two authorities or any two unknown person enters in the classroom. Now, when they enter in the classroom, there is a change in the environment. Now, the whole class, instead of putting his or their attention to the board, they start looking towards the door, who is there? So, change in stimuli has attracted your attention. You are sitting in your home taking dinner. Your house is on the highway. A accident occurs. When two vehicles collide with each other, there is a loud sound. Does that loud sound attracts your attention or not? We say some accident has happened. You have not seen. You are in your drawing room, but still by that change in the stimulus, because there is a absolutely peace. Now that change attracted your attention. You are sitting you are studying, whatever you are doing, suddenly a thunderstorm comes, and when thunderstorm comes, there is a noise. That noise is bringing change in the environment, and that change occurs our attention. We say a thunderstorm is coming, you close your window, close your doors, so that glasses may not prank. So change of stimuli also attracts the attention. Then third is novelty of stimulus. Whenever a newness occurs in a stimulus, it attracts more attention. What does it mean? If the stimuli presented are in a homogeneous, say all the same, always the same, always the same, always the same, that doesn't attract the attention. But if there is a novelty in the stimulus, newness, that attracts your attention. You are in the college, you have a dress code, fine, you have a dress code. Now, you have dress code, all the students are coming in that dress code. So, nobody notices, everyone is there. So, we say on a birthday, you are exempted from dress code, you can wear the clothes of your choice. When a student enters in the class whose birthday is today without dress code, with the other dress, we see, oh, what a beautiful dress he is wearing. Now, why he or she attracted your attention? Because there is a newness. There was a newness. You see, you might have seen in some advertisement, they see the old patterns, the old engines, the old models, then they put one new model, new design. That because of new design, it attracts our attention. Why a teacher in the class, to explain his point, gives you more examples? When we give the examples, we illustrate, that is novelty of the stimulus, and when we give the new examples, not the routine examples, then your attention is more attracted. So, if you want to increase the attention, bring novelty in your stimuli. That is why you see daily your advertisement changes, they are bringing in novelty in the stimulus. Number 4, movement. The objects which are in the movement attract more attention than the stationary objects. When a bowler starts his run up for the bowling, he attracts maximum attention than other players present in the field. Now, what does it say? The things which are stationary, stand still, they will attract less attention, and if they are moving, they attract the more attention. When a bowler starts bowling, we all pay concentration to him, and then as the batsmen start hitting, we leave the bowler, we put attention to the batsman because in the moment. You might have seen certain advertisements, moving lights. They are not moving, there is a 5 phenomenon, we will talk about some other lecture. If the lights are stationary, we do not bother, but if the advertisement running, it appears that there is a movement, it attracts more attention. Then duration of stimuli. The duration for which the stimulus is presented is also important. The stimulus which is before us for a longer period attracts more attention than the stimulus which remains before a person for a shorter period. If the stimulus has come for a momentary of seconds, it has come, it will go away. But if that duration is more, it will it will concentrate, it will go to my memory, the attention, it will be able to attract my attention more. That is why, you know, we keep the duration stimuli long. That is, we can say repetition. Sometime you might have seen your teacher in the class repeats the important point again and again. When I am repeating the point 3 times, that duration of that stimuli is more before you. So, that will attract your attention. And then 6 is the isolation of stimulus. If a stimulus is placed in isolation, then it will attract more attention than the other stimuli. For example, a bird, as I told you, a birthday boy in his informal dress will attract more attention in the class than the other students. You have made a new design of jewelry. Now, on a paper, that paper is filled with number of designs with your new design. That new design will not attract the attention. But if that new design is located only on the corner, isolated, that will attract your attention. What is that? Which is, you know, isolated. So, isolation also attracts the attention. Then contrast of stimulus. If the stimulus presented with other which are in contrast, then attention is attracted more. I have number of sites told, on a blackboard we write with a white chalk, there is a contrast. If I write with a pink or the yellow chalk, that will attract less attention. Now, a person in a modern dress and a person with dhoti kurta, there is a contrast. You know, our attention will go, one is in a traditional dress and one is in a western dress. If both are in western dress or in a traditional dress, they may not attract my attention. So, there is a contrast of stimulus also attracts. Then intensity means the amount. Then size of the stimulus, whether the stimulus which are larger attracts more, it is understood. Now, repetition, how much time we are repeating the stimulus. Now, I will talk about color, attractive or not, subjective. By subjective we mean that the factors which are related with the person who is looking or who is sensing that stimulus. So, the factors which are related with the characteristics of a person are subjective determinants like age, need, interest, expectation, attitude, etc. My need is food. So, my attraction will go to the hotel. Your need is to purchase a bat ball. Your attention will not go to a restaurant. Your attention will go to a shop where the sports material is available. A person is old and a person is young. The young person, when goes to the restaurant, he looks his pizza, attracts his attention, and when a old person goes, aloo ki tikya attracts his attention, because his perception is on the different. Now, a person of 80 say, I do not want to eat pizza. You know, give me a chapati and dal, it is sufficient. Clear? So, that is age. Now, it is different from one person to another person. That is why I said the factors which are related with the subject, the individual, they are subjective. According to age, according to your need, according to your interest, I told you, when my need is hunger, I perceive apple as a eatable object, and when my need is to play, I perceive apple as a ball. Clear? I want to make the practice of catch, only catching, then I can do the practice of catch by ball throwing here and there, that I am perceiving apple as a ball. You want to eat, apple is a eatable object. Now, attention is different. Now, it is subjective because both have perceived in a different way. So, likewise, when there will be sensation, then attention, then perception. Now, your attention will affect your perception. That is why attention and perception are related, and it plays a very important role in your advertisement industry. Number of psychologists are working, are put on these jobs, how to give the advertisement which may attract more attention. When you attract the more attention, there will be better perception. Better perception will lead to the better understanding of the object. So, this was about the role of attention and perception. Thank you very much.